Hello, 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 and happy Tuesday. You are live with Sandra at It's All About Choices. And every Tuesday, I have the pleasure of dishing out your weekly dose of wellness news for your mind, your body, and your soul. And I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope your week is going well. And for those who tune in live with me, I thank you so much for tuning in live. I appreciate you taking a time out. Hopefully, you're having some lunch, and so that you can get a little bit of feeding for yourself, for your soul, and for your health and for your wellness. And for those who are listening to the replay, the same. I thank you for taking time out and pausing just to get a little bit of self-care, I like to say, so that you can just move a little further, have more energy, and just be more aware, more importantly. And so as you are tuning in to this segment, please say hello to me. Give me a shout out. Just post hello in the chat. We're going to have a little fun today. We are wrapping up our final topic on March Madness. Even though we are in the first week of April, we are wrapping up. We got a little bonus segment as far as your all-time favorites. And this is about 100% fruit juice. So this is a very popular topic. So the question is, does 100% fruit juice hinder or promote weight loss? Does it have any impact on health? Does it improve your health, hinder your health? What do you think? So, does 100% fruit juice have too much sugar? What do you think? Does 100% fruit juice cause you to gain weight? What do you think? Is 100% fruit juice one of the reasons behind the obesity epidemic? Is it responsible for heart disease or one of the causes of cancer? What do you think about that one? Are the concerns about sugar overshadowing the fruit juice positive contribution to our health and to a healthful diet? Or is 100% fruit juice just another sugary drink that we should just kind of toss out the window? Well, what are your thoughts? Let's talk about that more. So stay with me throughout this segment, or if you have to jump off, watch it later. And I want you to share your thoughts on 100% fruit juice. And my goal today is to set the record straight about 4 common declarations that many of us live by regarding juice. Okay, this will surprise you. All right. So for those who do not know who I am, I'm Sandra Goltry. I'm a registered dietitian, certified personal trainer, and your accountability partner. And from pulling from a variety of leading age weight loss strategies, lifestyle strategies, I help adults integrate healthier eating habits into their daily routine, and not just healthier eating habits, but also just routines of self-care, sleeping better, exercising more, getting that hydration, stress management. All of those things feed into our food choices and are very, very important. And so the goal is to build a lifestyle habit that lasts the long haul. We're not looking for a Band-Aid. We're not looking for a long list of things that you cannot eat or things you shouldn't do. That's not a lifestyle. So it's about breaking those food strongholds, and it is about creating a lifestyle of self-care. All right. So again, as you're tuning in, give me a shout out, say hello, tell me where you're tuning in from. And we are wrapping up our favorite topics, and we're going to talk about 100% fruit juice. And does this hinder weight loss? Does it promote weight loss? Does it hinder our health? Does it promote, is it causing bad health? Okay. So I like to poll my question. So I have my poll question here. So do you avoid drinking juice? Okay. Now, there is a difference. So I'm speaking specifically of 100% fruit juice, or say you don't know if you never, some people don't really notice if the juice is 100% or not. But if you avoid any kind of juice, whether it's 100% fruit juice or not, put avoid, or you do drink it. All right. And so we're going to talk about that today. And so before I get into that a little bit, I would like to do a poll. We're about quarter of the way in the month or in the year of 2024. How are things going with sticking with your strategies designed to help you lose weight? How is that going? Are you getting healthier? Are you losing what you hoped that you would have lost by this point in the year, especially if this was one of your declarations back in January? Okay. So if you need a little help, if you're still a little confused as to what to eat and how to eat it and all that grand stuff, I have you covered. So I have this 5-day meal plan that you can access at no charge. And this plan is designed to help you to jumpstart your weight loss, help you to increase your energy levels, and to help you to show, hey, how can you plan and prep and have things ready to grab and go to where it is easy for you. It's going to save you time in the grocery store as well as your cooking time. So check it out. Here's the URL. You go to www.actionchoices.com/jumpstart. Okay, actionchoices.com/jumpstart. And it's 5 days of meals and snacks. You can do the 5-day meal plan in its entirety, or you can just pick and choose what looks good to you. Okay. I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later. So let's jump into the topic. Okay. So let me go back to this one. So before I get into the topic here, remember we're talking about 100% fruit juice. So let's talk about the backstory of added sugar. Okay. So the truth is natural sugar are found they're rich in dairy, rich in vegetables, they're rich in fruit. Okay. All of these are key components for a healthy eating pattern. So we should not exclude them, even though I know many cases we tend to do that. Added sugars, on the other hand, ranging from the also controversial high fructose corn syrup, to the more than like 60 or other odd ways of denoting sugar on the label, whether that's beverages, whether it's manufactured during the processing, or maybe it's added when we are cooking. But added sugars account for about 16% of the total calories of the American diet. So diets that are high in added sugars may lead to weight gain. It may lead to hypertension or high blood pressure. It may lead to chronic inflammation. It may lead to elevated cholesterol, particularly triglycerides and your LDL, which I typically call LDL, your lousy cholesterol. And so also note that simply overeating any type of food will have the same effect. Okay, so don't think that just because it's got sugar in it, that is going to have more of an effect of overeating something that has a lot of natural sugar, or natural sugar, and not a lot, but natural sugar in it. Okay, so added sugars such as sweetened beverages like soda, energy drinks, sports drinks, and sweetened fruit drinks offer very little satiety, and they provide very little nutritional value. Okay, and so specifically sports drinks, okay, they offer the benefits more to professional and competitive athletes, but that's outside of the scope of what we're talking about today. But the common everyday active individual like myself, that I would consider, and 90% of the rest of us, we don't need it. Okay, it's more sugar, more of the stuff that our bodies is not even burning off. Okay, all righty. And so let me post another question here. So post soda, juice. Let me see. I'm seeing if I had a banner. So I don't have my banner for this one. So soda, juice, non-alcoholic or alcoholic drink. So what is your favorite sweetened beverage? Is it soda? Is it juice? Or is it some kind of non-alcoholic or even alcoholic drink? Okay, because if you have these nice fruity, nice pretty drinks, they are, trust me, they're loaded with sugary chasers and things like that. So what is your favorite? So personally, I prefer to eat my calories rather than drink them. Okay, I'm just saying. So I will do 100% fruit juice like coconut water or orange juice, or even apple juice or cranberry juice, as long as it's 100% fruit juice. And I also would do 100% low sodium VA juice. So again, that's an acquired taste, but I do that more so for the potassium. And if I'm in a situation where I'm not able to get the whole vegetable, but I can at least get something in. And I do that primarily to control my blood pressure, as well as to increase my sodium intake, because coconut water and the low sodium VA juice is very high in potassium. So they're a great potassium source. So what is your favorite sweetened beverage? So is it soda, juice, or maybe some kind of non-alcoholic or alcoholic drink? All righty. So here is the deal. So let's talk about fruit juice a little bit more. So here's the deal with 100% fruit juice. So the key is 100% fruit juice. Okay. I like to use Capri Sun as a great example, because that's a staple at birthday parties and kid events. Capri Sun does come in 100% fruit juice. It does not come in the big pack that costs a little bit less, $1 or $2 less, but it does come in 100% fruit juice. If you want to get in the big pack, you can order it from Sam. So I always encourage parents, pay the $1 more, pay the $2 more, because at least you're giving your children the fruit minus the fiber, because it doesn't have the skin, versus the other stuff. It's really just added sugar. Okay. a variation of Kool-Aid, okay? So the key is 100% fruit juice. It has no added sugar. So there's no such thing as saying fruit juice has too much added sugar. If you drink too much of it, okay, it can give that appearance. So 100% fruit juice contains the same amount of sugar as the whole fruit counterpart. So if you have 4 ounces of apple juice or 4 ounces of grape juice or 4 ounces of cranberry juice, it has the same amount of sugar as for apple, a 4-ounce apple. For grapes, 3 ounces of grapes. It's the same amount of calories, same amount of sugar. You just don't have the fiber, but the nutrients are the same. At least you're getting the nutrients. So that's very, very important to know. And just to name, and then the bottle will read, if the bottle ever reads contains XX%, like 6% or 10% juice, or if it says light, then added sugar is there. Whether it's a sugar alcohol, something is added there. It's not it's not the natural juice. Okay, it will say 100% on the bottle, and that's what you want to give your kids. And depending on how old they are, if they're really young, you limit it to like 4 ounces a day, and then you give them whole fruit. A little bit older, you can, I would say still cap it at 8, but you do want to have some controls. That should not be the cornerstone. Juice should not serve as a cornerstone of their fluids. Okay. And so remember last week we talked about what is processed foods and what does it really mean and things like that. And so if it's not 100% fruit juice, it's a higher level of processing. Even if it's 100% fruit juice, it's minimally processed because they got to put it in the can or the jar or the bottle. So it is some level of processing there. Okay. And so earlier I spoke about overeating on any particular food will contribute to weight gain. And this is the same thing with over drinking. Many people drink their calories. They drink more calories than they eat. They just don't realize it. And so the problem with 100% fruit juice is that people drink too much of it, right? And so usually they're drinking 24-ounce glass and then you're still eating stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where the problem comes in. So you want to put some controls and put some caps on there. So when I work with my clients, I let them know, hey, juice is actually the juice, the dried fruit, as well as the whole fruit. They all serve different purposes and you should include all of them in your eating because you get different nutrients and different attributes and different benefits from each version of it, but they all serve its purpose within your specific needs. All right. So that's what's important within your specific needs. All right. Surprise. So are you surprised to hear that 100% fruit juice contains 0 added sugar? Okay. Some people know that, but many do not. Okay. So I think if more parents knew that the 100% version of it is better than the honest and all that stuff. And another disclaimer, fruit juice does not make your child hyper. If your child is already hyper, they're going to be hyper. If they're naturally hyper, they are going to be hyper, whether you give them the juice or not. You got some exceptions, but trust me, that's the minor stuff. We know about the red dye and all that kind of stuff, but typically if your child is hyper, they're going to be hyper regardless. And I have one, so I know. Okay. So are you surprised? Say surprise. Okay. And this typically, is a surprise from our clients. What you lose for the juice is the fiber. Unless you're juicing at home and you're putting the whole fruit in there, then you will still have the fiber. Okay. All righty. And so before I jump into the 4 myths, so that's the big topic for today are the 4 myths that we kind of live by that regarding juice that we just it gets passed down from generation to generation. So I'm here to debunk all of that. Okay. And so it's all about having knowledge and having the truth. And so, but before I segue into that, I definitely want to ask, do you feel like you have been on diets that restrict you from eating things that you enjoy eating? And I guarantee you, I know fruit juice is out of people's diets when they decide that they're going to follow a particular plan. That's usually one of the things that fall out the window. Sometimes fruit even falls out the window, which is not a good thing. But if you feel that way, and you've been experienced in it and it seems so restrictive and you're not getting the results on top of that. So you cut out, you cut back, and you're not seeing the results that you want to see. I know that is very, very, very frustrating and it's very common. And I always tell people it's not your fault. You don't know what you don't know. And so if you see something and the marketing is great, and you have all these pictures and the before afters, and it seems like they're doing well, why would you not try it? Okay. But I always tell people, you don't know what their labs look like. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes that they're not telling you, but you don't want to restrict too much because your body needs certain things. Okay. So I got you covered, and that is what this 5-day meal plan is all about. It's very easy to follow, and it's going to show you, oh, you're going to see so many different colors, so many different foods, different food groups, which is how you want to go about getting healthier. Okay. It was designed to give you a surge of energy that will last throughout the day. So you're not depending on coffee and caffeine and sugar and things like that. The benefits of eating satisfying meals. You shouldn't feel hungry all the time. You shouldn't feel deprived all the time. So this will help you to keep your cravings at bay, especially during those stressful times of the day. Okay. Wake up feeling refreshed and energized, ready to start the day off strong. Of course, you must couple that with adequate sleep. So they work together hand in hand. This will definitely boost your body's natural detoxification system because you're going to be eating powerhouse foods. So no need to juice, no need to do this, all the stuff that you kind of hear to cleanse the body. Well, eating healthy will do the same. Our liver does a wonderful job of detoxing our bodies as long as we're feeding it good. So it doesn't have to work as hard if we give it good stuff. Okay. And so the way to access that again is to go to actionchoices.com/jumpstart. And you will have access to this. It's a guidebook. You will have step-by-step, if you follow it for 5 days, on what to prep on this day, and you do not have to prep all 5 days in one setting. And so that's the beauty of it. You'll get the opportunity to experience grab and go, which is what is a lifesaver, especially when you come home from a long day. The last thing you want to do is cook. And so to know that you can just warm up something is stress relieving. Okay. And then again, if you're not so savvy with planning and prepping, this is a good way to kind of introduce that to you. So easy meals, saves you money on your grocery list, saves you time with cooking. Definitely check it out and give me your feedback. Let me know how you feel. Okay. Or how you like it. So now let's get into the good stuff. Misinformation and confusion about several myths about juice. Okay. So I'm going to talk about 4 declarations that we typically live by when it comes to juice. I hear this so often when I hear people discuss why they don't drink fruit juice or why. And also it's like a badge of honor. Well, I don't drink juice and I don't eat sweets and I don't, so I want to kind of give you the opportunity to realize that you really do have a choice. Okay. And so here are 4 science-based research debunking information that to shed some light on some misconceptions about juice. So number 1, drum roll. So that's my title here. So drum roll, number 1. So juice contains empty calories. So that's something that I hear sometimes. Okay. So the fact is juice is healthy. It's nutrient dense. It's a beverage that delivers significant amount of nutrients to the diet. Okay. This is a good way to boost your immune system. Okay. You don't want to pump yourself up with a bunch of vitamin C tablets and supplements and powders and all that kind of stuff. Orange juice has plenty of vitamin C, enough, 8 ounces, plenty for what you need in a day. So the thing is keeping your body continually having that stuff, not waiting until you feel the onset of a cold or a sickness, and then all of a sudden you want to pump yourself up. So you want to kind of stay armed. So 100% fruit juice is particularly, it delivers vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, folic, thiamine, which is B1. And then you have some fortified fruit juices that will also, like orange juice, will contain calcium as well as vitamin D. That is the good stuff. Okay, that's the stuff that you want to aim for. And then sometimes many know that 100% fruit juice benefits they have plant compounds in them they're called bioactives. Okay, and so studies show that bioactives found in fruit juice and as well as fruit may have potential to positively impact your health in a number of ways, such as you can protect your heart health. It can preserve your cognitive function. It can aid in exercise performance, and it can prevent urinary tract infections. And for that one, that's particularly cranberry juice. Okay. So very benefits. So it's a benefit to have, a variety of fruit in your plan, but again, understanding how that looks for you individually. Okay. And that's where a dietitian can come in. That's where I come in. Number two, declaration juice that's been debunked. And that is, it's better to avoid the juice and just eat the whole fruit. So it's better to avoid juice and just eat the whole fruit. So that's a very common, very reasonable, common statement, right? So no doubt that eating the whole fruit is important to overall health because the fruit consumption is surprisingly low these days, believe it or not, because with the fruit, you are going to have the fiber. So more than 75% of all Americans are not getting enough fruit. So another thing is, just because you eat a fruit or two a day, that doesn't mean you're necessarily meeting your body needs. And then also you need to make sure you're eating enough of that fruit in order to say that it is a serving or a portion size and that you're going to get the benefits. Like I talk to a lot of clients, oh, I have like 1 or 2 strawberries and then I'll have, the rest of my breakfast. Well, 1 or 2 strawberries is not a serving. So you are not getting the vitamin C benefits and all the other benefits that come from strawberries, the antioxidants, the fiber, any of that stuff, because you're not eating enough of it. So I teach my clients how much of a food are you supposed to eat? So you're making sure that you're even getting the benefits of it and you're getting satiety. So you're not hungry 30 minutes later. So you want to increase full intake of fruit, the whole fruit, because that's going to increase your fiber intake. But you also want to do a combination, like I said, of the juice as well as even the dried fruit. Okay. And so therefore, so you want to do a mix and you want to do a combination. Okay. All righty. So let's talk about number 3. Let me get that down here. All right. So juice declaration number 3. Juice is harmful for your health. What's your take on that? What do you think? So 100% fruit juice does not increase your risk of chronic disease. Okay. So a study reveals that no significant associations between juice and weight gain in children or adults, concluded that that there's really no significant, or relationship between the juice and the weight gain. Okay. And there are no adverse health effects were found when it's associated with 100% fruit juice consumption. It doesn't increase diabetes. It's not going to increase cardiovascular disease. It's not going to increase glucose homeostasis, homeostasis is when it is imbalanced. So it's not going to make them imbalanced. It's not going to impact your lipid levels. It's not going to impact your liver enzymes or your blood pressure when it's in moderation. Okay. In excess, of course, it's going to cause problems. Any food is going to cause problems if it's in excess, even vegetables, believe it or not. Okay, so we want to be careful about that. So we want to make sure that we have the right information and accurate information as to what is going to impact or increase your risk for certain diseases and what is not. Okay, and then number four. So dental caries. Juice drinking causes dental caries in children. So despite recommendations by the dental profession to avoid juice consumption in order to prevent dental caries in young children, there's no scientific evidence that drinking juice in appropriate amounts causes dental caries more than any other food. Okay, so at the end of the day, you need to brush your teeth regularly to properly prevent dental caries. So if you're gonna eat stuff that's has some sugar in the cereal, not necessarily sugar sweetened cereal, but some cereal does have sugar in it. It's just not loaded with it. Brush your teeth. Okay, that's one thing that I do at home is with my son after breakfast, we always brush our teeth. So that's really the big thing. So that's really what the bigger problem is you're drinking the juice, going to bed. So that's really where it is. But again, you still want to make sure it's drunk in moderation. Okay, because even if you have fruit juice, you still at some point you got to brush your teeth, right? And I'll repeat, if those of you came on last or later rather, that there are many parents and people who swear that the juice makes their kids hyper, but there's no research that links to that. So, and that they're bouncing off the walls. So it's probably some other variables going on. Of course, there are some exceptions to the rule, but it is not the norm that juice is automatically going to make your child hyper. Okay. In many cases, the child's already hyper. The juice just makes it more fun, I guess. But again, I have one myself, so that's why I can say that. All righty. So post any questions, post any comments. The big takeaway is 100% fruit juice has its place in a healthy eating pattern that is packed with nutrient-dense whole foods, balancing fruit with the whole fruit as well as the fruit juice. Dried fruit helps many people meet their recommended daily allowance for not just fruit, but also some minerals like potassium and vitamin C and things like that, and minerals. All right. And so we did not speak much about dried fruit here, but know that dried fruit when it's the natural form, which is no sugar added, is an excellent choice to fit into meet your fruit requirements for the day. But again, knowing what a serving is, so you're not overdoing it. It's very easy to eat a whole big old box of raisins and think that, oh, there's no harm done, but it is. Okay. So again, in moderation. All right. And so again, if you are confused about what to eat for your body, how to pair all this stuff together that you're learning about, definitely check out my newly revised copy of, and it's popular demand. So I'm happy that a lot of people are downloading this. And so I'm very proud of it. So I'm going to put the URL back up here, actionchoices.com/jumpstart. So you can get your free access to jumpstart your weight loss and to boost your energy level. So that is the title of it. It includes 5 days of meals, recipes, itemized grocery list, and a meal prep guide designed to help you cut time in the grocery store, cut time in the kitchen, have delicious meals, to see how you can pair things and see how you can make foods work for you, and realize that you don't have to have this long list of things that you should not eat. Okay. So take advantage of it, and then reach out to me if you have questions, comments. I would love to talk with you more about it. And thank you for tuning in. Next week, we are going to start a new topic, and we're going to talk a little bit about, let's see here. We're actually going to talk about vitamin D. I was trying to remember what we were talking about. We're actually going to talk about vitamin D. So the overlooked benefits of vitamin D, how it impacts our immune system, and how it can reduce our risk of chronic diseases. So definitely tune in for that one. Vitamin D is something that many of us, as in this country, we have a deficiency of. Okay, it's actually a global issue as well, but a lot of people are vitamin D deficient and don't know it, and it can lead to some health problems down the line if it's not caught in time. So let's talk about that next week. And so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule, and I will see you again next week, same time, same handle. Have a great one.